Hello and welcome to this revamped roundup, which obviously looks a hell of a lot different than it did yesterday. So, I took everybody's advice and I'm going to do a video future of the channel part 2 probably tomorrow because today I am pretty um, busy. But, so, too much information. What's the point of putting the information on there if you can't read it? Some people suggested graphics and things like that to make it easier to read, and it's like, well, maybe just put less on there. And the constant thing I was getting was less is more, and less videos is more. Instead of putting out 3-4 videos a day, don't. So the way I'm thinking about it in this revamped roundup, because roundup still works as a title. I don't really want to say I'm married to it, but at the same time, the roundup of the day of League could work as the one thing a day that comes out, um, encompassing multiple other things instead of separate videos, which makes this video kind of scary. This video, I don't know how long it's going to be. I'm hoping it ends up being under like 15-20 minutes by the time I'm done with this thing. Normally, obviously, I'm rambling today. So comment down below with your opinions on how this is. I will say I am a bit uncomfortable talking about these games when I didn't watch them. And, a lot of people said, well, watch one series of the day or whatever. And I think more often than not, I can pull that off. Actually, I probably could pull that off every day. But today it was a little more stressful because I was trying to figure out how I wanted to do this. So I really didn't even watch anything, which sucks. I don't know if I really like not being able to watch the games to figure out who's good and who's not. Now I'm relying on stats 100%, and that, I mean, if that's what people want, because a lot of people watch highlight videos already, that is what it is. So LPL, Anyone's Legend Ultra Prime started us off 4-3, 2-4. Anyone's Legend would 2-0 them. Some notes: Forge went 8-2-17. ZDZ led the way with 27% of the damage for Anyone's Legend. Very dominant. I believe he played Gangplank and Jax. Zoom 30% because his Swain was disgusting in game 1, and I think he might have played Gangplank in game 2. Elk 6-4-10. I believe he was the only player on Ultra Prime that went positive kills deaths. Over here, I already am out of order. I'm already out of order, but sticking to it for a second. Over here, you probably can't read it, but we're working on that. Stars of the day, that's the new thing. So the stars of the day, who was the best player in each role, based off of what the stats say, in my opinion, I guess. So in top lane, ZDZ got the top lane nod for the LPL. That's how it relates to that. Now, before I get into BLG and Weibo, I skipped this. I believe that it might be better to do news each day if there is any, instead of waiting till one day a week to do it. And I think I'm going to move, well, tomorrow I'm going to get into this more, but I believe I'm going to move my minor region power rankings to Wednesday and make that a separate video, because power ranking videos do better, and just do news as it comes along. Have a top predictors video maybe on like Tuesdays or something when I don't have a second video to put up. I mean, I have to decide. Tomorrow's video will be more about how at least I feel about the suggestions from the comments. So, news. BLG, like I said yesterday in the sneak peek, I believed that Weiwei, there was a rumor that Weiwei was going to get benched. So that happened. Can got brought up. Can in the LDL had over a 10 KDA, 6.3 CS per minute, 72 KP, 24 kill share, and 20 gold share. Played 5 champions in 8 games. Very, very dominant. A 10 KDA is incredible. Weiwei was definitely the weakest link on BLG in my opinion, outside of mid lane. Mid is still a problem. However, today Fofo I thought did well in his return. Weiwei 296, 552, 68.8, and 30.2. So Weiwei was getting a ton of kills. However, the gold 18.7, and his kill KP under 70% is not great, given that his CS per minute's 5.5, which honestly I always said before the split 5.5 was okay, as long as KP was around 70. So he's around where, like, I would say a good jungler should be in those two stats. However, Can is doing a lot better. So Can played today for BLG. Fofo came back in for Icon. So Weibo would beat BLG 2-1. Weibo moving to 5-4. BLG continued to fall to 2-6. Angel went 9-5-20. The Shy had 31% KP, and Fofo went 6-6-18 and led the way with 32% damage. Sorry, the Shy 31% damage, not KP. Neither player made this. I did debate between the Shy and ZDZ, but ZDZ also had like 13 kills in his 2 games, where the Shy, I think, had like 8 deaths, like went 10-8 and whatever many assists. So ZDZ ended up getting the nod, and even Zoom probably would have gotten it over the Shy as well. I did debate on putting Fofo in, because Fofo had a crazy amount of damage per minute. I don't know if my stats were wrong. I mean, it's the first day of doing those stats. But his damage per minute was second highest across both regions. But then I'm going to get into why Knight was the LPL mid laner of the day. So, Top and RNG rematch of spring finals. Top come out ahead 2-1. Jackie Love went 10, 2, and 21 in the 3-game series. 37% damage, ends up being the star 80 carry in the LPL. Xiaohu, 40% damage. That is a ton of damage. I think he played Corky maybe twice. I know he definitely... I don't know what he played in Game 1. I thought he played Corky in Game 2 and Ari in Game 3. Maybe he played Ari in Game 2 and Corky in Game 1. Nevertheless, he died a lot. Double-digit deaths for him and Wei, I believe. So he didn't get the mid laner award. Knight did. Knight had 15 kills, going 15, 4, and 14. I think he had more kills than anybody else across both regions today. So good day out of Knight. And Mark ends up being the support. He had the best, I think he had like only 4 deaths in 3 games or something. So Mark ends up being the support. It's harder to look at stats when you're talking about supports. Obviously, you look at KP, and I guess like KDA. So he didn't die. LCK, Nongshim, and Sandbox. Sandbox do easy work of Nongshim 2-1. Krakow went 7-1-16 in 2 games. Closer, 37% damage, the most damage per minute across both regions. Closer ends up being the mid lane MVP. BDD led the way with 31% damage and went 4-5-6 for Nongshim as they struggle. Cal also was the support. He did very well, getting Prince in good positions. HLE versus Damwon. Damwon 2-0'd HLE, as you see here. Nuguri 8-2 and 14. Duckdom had 80% KP, therefore was the 80 carry for the LCK. Definitely played a key part in Damwon's success based on that. And on Fleek 6-6 and 11. I mean, he's the only one for HLE really not with a negative KDA, it seems like, every day. I mean, he's the older guy kind of just going with the flow on the team as HLE continue to fall. I mean, different than Fred and Breon, which we'll get to in a minute. And that Fred and Breon are trying to influx now, bring in younger players. HLE obviously already have their younger players and continue to lose. So, yeah. Nuguri and Canyon were the top and jungle in Stars of the Day. Canyon had like 40% damage in Game 1 on Talia, and also in Game 2 he did well, despite not having a lot of damage. I believe he may have played a Trundle in Game 2, if I'm not mistaken. But nevertheless, that's kind of the way the roundup. Let's see if it's a swing, and maybe I miss. So comment down below with what you think about this. And now on to the sneak peek, which is going to be part of the roundup. Okay, now for the sneak peek. I believe, like so, roundup, you take everything and you round it all up. So all the league stuff in one video. Excuse me, sneak peek. Looking at tomorrow's games. Thunder Talk versus IG. Thunder Talk 18th in my power rankings. Those came out Thursday. 2 and 4 coming off of a 2-1 upset of BLG where they had multiple backups in. I believe a brand new young, what was it, Kepler and Yao Yao in bot. IG 1 and 6, lost to LNG 2-0. UKAI 7-0 and 6 in the last time they played week 1, day 4, where IG won 2-0. Not the same teams though, so it's always Beshwan for me with Thunder Talk. He is what makes them live and die. UCal as well. So UCal versus UKAI is something, but I think June is definitely the guy that also gets IG going. If IG is going to succeed, it is through June. So it's up to Beshwan versus June to decide the winner. EDG versus Victory 5, a very elite matchup. Two teams in my top 6 of my power rankings. EDG coming off of an upset loss to OMG 2-1. Victory 5 2-0'd Rare Adam in Rookie's return. Week 6, day 5 was the last time they played where Victory 5 won 2-0. Carson went 11-2 and 14 in that series. I do not know if, I didn't look at LPL Fan Club to know if Carson or Zhao Lao Bao is playing. So Scout versus Rookie is what we're watching. Two very elite mid laners, both in the conversation for top 5 in the world. That is going to be what we want to watch. Obviously, Viper versus Photic is interesting. The bot lanes in general are interesting. I would say Flandre versus Rich isn't really gonna inspire me too much. Neither is JJ versus Karsa or Zhao Lao Bao. In my opinion, it's mid and the bot lane that's going to interest me. LCK, DRX versus Gen G, two teams in my power rankings as well. DRX 11th, Gen G 2nd. DRX 5-2 coming off of a win over Damwon 2-0, which was a big win, which set them apart as arguably the third best team on paper. Stats-wise, standings-wise, in the LCK, I still like Damwon more on paper, but DRX beat them. Gen G, might have been 2-1. I don't know why I did 2-0 there. It might have been 2-1, and I think it was 2-1. I'm a moron. Gen G, T1 beat them 2-1 yesterday. A big win. That was, we'd been waiting for 5v5 of the Gen G starters versus T1 starters for a while. T1 come out ahead. Last time we played was week 6, day 5. Gen G going 2-0. Chovy 10-2 and 14 in that series. It's Deft versus Ruler for me. I guess I could say Pioshik versus Peanuts also interesting, but I think it's the two older AD carries duking it out in bot lane that's going to interest me, as well as Barrel versus Lehens. Both of them have a little bit of int to them, and that makes things interesting. Maybe we see some weird picks, and that will benefit everybody. T1 versus Fred Brian. T1 coming off of that win against Gen G. Fred Brian coming off of a 2-0 loss much earlier in the week against Kwangdong Freaks. Week 8, day 5 was the last time they played. T1 winning 2-0 against what was Fred Brian's backups. It was Fred Brian's challenger roster. I believe there was a point in the split where COVID just ravaged that team, and they had to play a bunch of backups like everybody, and they struggled a lot. So, Guma went 21-1-8 in the two-game series. Carrier versus Delight for me. I said this last time with Fred Brian. I don't know who Fred Brian's playing. Gammon came up. They've got Raptor. And then they have Morgan and Sword. So don't know who's starting in top. It's Faker versus Lava. So it's Faker versus Lava. And Carrier versus Delight. So I'm more interested in Carrier versus Delight in this one. So we'll see how that goes. I wouldn't be, honestly, a part of me when I was writing this said, is this the game Fred Brian wins because T1's coming off of a big win against Gen G? Maybe. So predict down below who you think will win these games. I am in the belief that this whole predictions thing will be moving to Discord, which I'm going to get into more tomorrow. I started the Discord. If you stuck through this video this long, I guess here's a spoiler. I'm trying to get that done. I've done a lot of, I've been on, teams and games and clans and things like that and all that shit. And I've run chat rooms before. I just haven't run Discord before. So I'm trying to get an idea of it. And also, I've never had like a 1,600 subscriber channel. So even if I all of a sudden have 50 people in there that, I mean, I'm sure you're all good people, right? So, um, but I've been around the block, so I'm trying to do it in a way that I also am like covering my ass. So stay tuned for all that tomorrow. Give me your opinion on what you think of this whole deal. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Like I keep saying though, comment down below. Feedback is important. Tomorrow I will have the future of the channel part 2 where I kind of go over maybe how I view things right now after getting, plenty of feedback, which I love. So thank you for that, and I hope you come back for more content.